There you go. That's St John's in the Vale. Not so bad, is it? Right, let's crack on with this part 2 of 10 things about biking. Welcome back to Riders Diaries. Okay, so where were we? I think yesterday we spoke about when I started riding, why I started riding, how many bikes I'd had, what other vloggers sites do I watch, and why did I start vlogging myself? So we've got 5 more topics to go through. Well 4 more really. One of them is just tag a friend. So basically the first person who's going to reply to this and say something, I'm going to tag, because I know not many people watch it. So that leaves 4. Well, the first one of those was, do I prefer street riding or motocrossing, scrambling? And although I started off on the trailie, basically, yeah, street riding. If I was unsure what I was doing on the road, then I was sure as hell damn it didn't have a clue when I was on the loose. And I guess because I've had this bike so long and the previous bike was a road bike, yeah, I'll take road bikes over scramblers. Although I wouldn't mind doing the whole adventure bike thing. I've got nothing against loose surfaces. It's just that a friend of mine I used to work with was a motocrosser, and what he did looked incredible, but not for me. No, I don't think so. And that kind of brings me on to the next one. It says, have you ever had an accident? Well, goodness me, where do you start? In London, it really is a case of not if but when. I've said before, my journey was 20 miles in, at least 10 miles of that was filtering. And you know, when you got that amount of traffic around you, sooner or later somebody does something unexpected. But I kept it down to about 1 accident every 2 years. That's like 1 accident every 25,000 miles. And I didn't think that was such a bad hit rate, if you'll pardon the phrase. And they were all fairly innocent, thoughtless accidents. I mean, all of them were doing filtering. 2 of them were when 2 cars did U-turns in front of me, 2 separate occasions. 2 of them were white van man just suddenly seeing his drop-off point and just cutting across the lane and taking me with him. And then the last one was a taxi, but not the driver itself, it was the passenger in the back. The taxi was stuck in traffic, the passenger didn't want to be there anymore. So he just paid the taxi driver and he got out in the centre of the lane and didn't see me, and I just drove into the back of the taxi, which I suppose was the last thing he expected. My only blameworthy accident was a drop on black ice. It was a 10-mile-an-hour spill. I was about 100 yards from my door. Didn't bank on water collecting at the bottom of my road because it was on a slight gradient, and basically I hit that and the bike went over like a curling stone. And it was really bizarre to watch because these were the days where crash bungs hadn't yet been invented, and the VFR's beautiful glossy smooth flanks just slid on this ice at about 10 miles an hour for what seemed like forever, until it eventually came to rest under a taxi. Taxi driver, he was pretty nonplussed. Give me 60 quid for the bumper and we'll avoid the insurance. But I had to put my bike through the insurance because I did £2,008 worth of damage to it. 10 mile an hour spill, all plastics. When Honda were charging £7 for a trim screw and £350 just for one side of one top part of the fairing, yeah, over £2,000 easily. So those are my accidents. As for my dream bike, well, I mean, things like Street Hawk aside, because I mean, we all loved Street Hawk, didn't we? I've got to look at the RC30 or the NR750. I mean, look at me. I'm clearly a V4 enthusiast. The RC30 to me is still the quintessential sports bike. Seriously outclassed now. It's only got about 120 brake horsepower, but back in the day, I mean, this was a quality machine. And just when you think things couldn't have got any better, 1992, and Honda pushed on with their oval piston design and came out the NR750. Now 1992, this bike was £38,000, made up of exotic materials, titanium windscreens, magnesium alloys, carbon fibre, everything. And again, you know, today it's not that special. It only puts out 125 brake horsepower. But that dual piston V4 setup meant it effectively felt like a V8. And although I think it was Benelli who came out of a V8 superbike later in the day, it wasn't a patch on the NR750. So yeah, those would be my bikes of choice. Now NR750s now go for around 60 or 70,000 pounds, and the RC30 is a veritable bargain in comparison, because that's only a snip at 30,000 pounds. But arguably I'll get 90% of the riding experience on this thing, and you can pick one of these up for 1,500 quid. So, you know, we talk about our dream bikes, and sure, these are the pipe dreams, the above and beyond, but honestly, this is why I keep hold of this one for so long. Yeah, I would like a Triumph ST Sprint 1050. You know, that would be a useful hiking power. It's got a characterful engine. It's still got a sexy single-sided swing arm. And maybe, when I top the 100,000 mile mark, I'll have a look at this and think, well, do I really want it anymore? And the answer will be yes, but in my head, I'll be asking, do I want something different? And I fear the answer might be yes to that as well. So where are we? 98,800 miles. I'll tell you what I decide in about 1,200 miles time. So what have we done? We've done dream bike, street or loose, accidents, tag a friend if I remember. Is that all of them? I feel like I've forgotten one. Oh, we'll call that all of them for now. Besides, it's a lovely day, I'm going to enjoy the ride. So take care everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Oh, that was it. Number 10. Do you give your bike a name? Well, yeah. I'll call it a bitch if it doesn't start. Take care everyone.